first of all, everyone, welcome to Car Paladin. Thanks so much for watching. Let's talk about some car buying. I wanted to go over some dealership myths and just kind of debunk them / confirm them. Just a handful. The first one I wanted to go over was you have to buy on the last day of the month to get the best deal. This is actually false, completely false, though you can get a really good deal on the last day of the month. I've heard many times also buying a car on the last day of the year. Guys, these dealerships operate independently and they each have their own independent goals. For example, if my goal for the month was 250 cars and I've hit that maybe on the 25th and there's still 6 days left on the month, I no longer care about volume. All I care about is making the most profit possible. See, the dealerships goals shift weekly. I have a completely separate video on when is it the best time to buy a car. Go check that out. But you're not going to get the best deal on the last day of the month always. I actually find it's a lot harder to get a great deal on the last month because dealerships have already hit their goal or missed it. So they're not going to be willing to negotiate. I mean, just think about it. If the last day of the month and you already know you're not going to hit your monthly goal, or you've already hit your goal, then you're not going to get that amazing deal that you're expecting. For example, especially if they didn't hit their goal, or they know they're not going to hit their goal, why would I take a 3 or 2K loser deal just to sell another car? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. Complete myth. That being said, the second one is a low monthly payment means you got a good deal. Completely false, guys. It's completely dependent on the deal structure, right? The numbers, how they broke down. They could have pushed you out to 84 months, 96 months. I don't know if there are banks doing 96 months right now through dealerships. Actually, there is one that's doing 96 months now. I think you're going to start seeing more of that. Your goal is to get a certain number out the door after doing all your research. And then the monthly payment is what the monthly payment is. The numbers are always the monthly payment is the last thing you should be worried about. Obviously you have your budget and everything, but the monthly payment does not dictate whether that was a good deal or a bad deal. You should be trying to aim for a certain out the door number based off your research. And then once you've achieved that, you use your own bank financing. You show up to the dealership with like one of these from UFCU or whatever your local credit union is, dealer check, and then you're buying the car. I have the complete guide to how to do all that, get the best deal at carpaladin.com. Check out the Gold Course. Regardless, guys, monthly payment has nothing to do with getting a good deal. You have to buy the dealer add-ons. I've heard this before as well. Basically, you get to the pencil, like one of these, and then they advertise a certain price online, and then all of a sudden they're throwing all this other stuff, and they say you have to buy that in order to get that price. This is just kind of a tactic. There's a lot of these dealerships, guys, that advertise a certain price online just to get you in the door. Then you walk in and there's all these addendums. It's important to know how to spot these and how to negotiate them off. So is it necessarily true that you have to buy the stuff? No, you don't have to buy the stuff. Like, you don't. Whether they choose to sell you the car or honor their price based off of that is a completely different thing. I mean, they really might just say, hey, look, if you're not going to buy the add-ons, then I can't advertise that price. And I mean, it is what it is. Were those add-ons on the website? Something to check into. And then did the vehicle have an addendum on it? If the vehicle did not have an addendum on it and they're trying to tell you that you have to buy the add-ons, you could definitely make a complaint, and you could definitely probably get the dealership in a little bit of heat / in trouble. Is it worth going through all that? Potentially. I mean, it depends how much they really wasted your time. But yeah, you shouldn't have to buy any add-ons if there's no addendums on the window sticker. And then also, I mean, that's a pretty tricky subject. I mean, but anyways, you could get the dealership in trouble if they're trying to do that. Regardless. All right, let's move on to the next thing, guys. You have to buy gap insurance or any other product back in finance, right? I had a good friend of mine who bought a car from a dealership that I was working at the time. I was a manager at that dealership. I didn't tell the finance manager that was my buddy because I kind of knew that manager, that specific finance manager, was kind of shady. And I just kind of wanted to see what happened, right? So my buddy's texting me in the finance office while he is in there while I'm at work, while he's in the finance office, he's texting me saying, hey, and keep in mind, I've already pre-negotiated this deal. So I know what the exact payment should be and what term and everything. Like I've got this deal. I'm looking at the deal on my computer screen in CDK, right? So the finance manager basically starts texting me. The finance manager telling me I have to buy gap insurance. The bank won't allow me to not buy gap insurance. And then, do I need this extended warranty, saying that it's coming together in a package? Uh, Basically, this finance guy was just trying to take advantage of him because he didn't know a lot about car buying, as most people don't, and trying to force this gap insurance on him, trying to force a warranty on him. You do not have to buy anything from finance. When you walk into the finance department, you do not have to buy a single thing. You walk in there, you give them your check. Hey, I know you're going to try to sell me some warranties, etc. I'm not interested. Thanks. Have a great day. You know what I mean? I mean, you might want a warranty. I don't know. I've got a different video on that. But I'm just trying to tell you is that you don't have to buy anything in finance. Don't let them try to brush all these things by you, throw it in your contract without you knowing. And that finance guy got fired like maybe a week after that because I made a big stink about it. But regardless, guys, watch out for these finance guys. They're like foxes. Truly, they are. And then the last thing is first-time car buying rates, right? So what I mean by that is you walk into finance and then the finance manager says, hey, man, you're a first-time car buyer. You know the rate's going to be high. That's not necessarily true. First-time car buyers with 700 credit scores, 750 credit scores with some credit card history will get the tier 1 plus rate with certain banks like Toyota, etc. Doesn't necessarily mean you're auto going to get 18%. A lot of people try to use this first-time car buyer thing as a way to mark up the rate and create a lot of room for the finance manager, right? Called payment packing. However, if I've got a co-signer who's a 750 credit score and I'm brand new to credit, that doesn't necessarily mean it's still going to be 20%. I mean, I've seen closers use this time and time again. They're not necessarily wrong. I mean, again, this is why it's so important to get your own financing so you know for sure what your rate's going to be. Never want to leave it up to the dealership because it's never going to turn out in your favor. They're always going to try to mark up the rate so they can make their reserve. And I know I'm talking a lot of car lingo. I don't want stuff to start going over your guys' head, but check out my other videos. Check out carpaladin.com. Check out the Gold Course. If you're in the market for a car, it's just a no-brainer. You're literally going to save thousands of dollars for nothing. I mean, I'm charging like $5 or something to go over hours worth of car buying advice and tips, full walkthrough. But regardless, guys, those are just a couple of myths. And then one other myth I want to go over here at the very end is that salesmen make a bunch of money off selling cars. It could be true, but don't go into a car dealership thinking, I've seen it a lot. This is kind of like an old school mentality. I've seen a lot of older gentlemen and people who think they know a lot about car buying go, come on, man. I know you're making good money off of this car deal. I mean, first of all, if you're a customer who's going in there, those customers almost are always the one going in there and negotiating. Once you start negotiating off the sticker price of that car salesman probably isn't making much. He's probably just making a mini at that point. Mini means the bare minimum there. It's like a flat. So at most dealerships, it's $150, maybe $250. If you work at a really, awesome pay plan, you're making $300 or something like that. But if I'm a consumer and then I pre-negotiated my car deal, I'm getting any more than 2, 3, 4K off the vehicle, I can assume that guy's not making a ton of money. So just unless you're just walking in paying sticker price for the car, okay, I can assume he might make a pretty decent check. What's a lot of money, right? I think the most I've seen car guys make on the regular is like $500 to $1,000 per car. That's selling sticker price. That's when the market was everyone was paying sticker. Every single deal you're making $1,000. But now you only get 3 or 4 of those per month. For an average car sales guy, I'm talking. So, I mean, these car guys aren't making a killing anymore like they were. The market's not that anymore. I've seen a lot of car sales professionals just fall out of the industry completely, actually, because those easy paychecks are gone now. It's back to the car dogs, making the good checks. That being said, don't auto assume that every car sales guy's making a ton of money. It's not like that anymore. And not that that's a factor to you as a consumer. You're still sticking to the same game plan of buying, negotiating, etc., all that stuff on the Gold Course, carpaladin.com. That's basically it, guys. I really don't have much. I just wanted to do a really quick video. It wasn't that quick, but I just wanted to debunk a couple myths. That being said, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, like, so that way I can get my content out to more people. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.